You're watching Tea and Poetry with Dave Steele, the blind poet.
Welcome everyone to Tea of Poetry. We are going to be reading some poetry. We're going to be talking everything about low vision, blindness, whatever's on your mind. Talk about some upcoming events, big events, and it's just great to be back here. So, a couple things, like our dear friend Travis already has his hand raised. It's like literally like I know the second Travis comes in, boom, hand is raised. So if you want to interact with Dave, myself, both of us, all you got to do is raise your hand and we will bring you into the conversation. You have the choice to join us with video and audio, or if you just want audio, whatever is convenient, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I do want to really, recommend come on with video. This is a great environment. No one bites here. We want everyone to really enjoy and to really benefit from these live streams. So that is that. So you raise your hand if you want to join. The second thing is you can also post questions in the Q&A, comments in the Q&A. The chat is working as well. So you have that option as well. And then you can, we'll do our best to go through it, read them out loud, and so on and so forth. So great to be back. A little bit cold here in Baltimore, and but it's it'll be a few days here, and then we're back to some sunshine in South Florida. So how are things doing on your side, Dave?
Very good. You know what? It's been a crazy busy few weeks, and there's no sign of it letting up, as we're about to obviously talk about over the next hour with some of the things we've got in the pipeline, some of the things we've got planned. But you know what? I'm feeling so energized at the moment. It's actually a strange mix. I'm tired, but at the same time I'm like bursting with energy because I'm so excited for the things that are to come. And I'm getting messages. My phone's been going non-stop over the last few days, especially the last couple of days since I put out a certain video a couple of days ago, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in a little while. But I'm so energized, even though I'm kind of tired, with just all the amazing things that are kind of happening and yet to come, and how the people I've been kind of connected with, the people that are on this call, and the people that I speak to on a regular basis are really kind of proud of me and proud of us, I should say, for the work that we're doing and where we're actually going at the moment with the direction. So yeah, I'm really happy. I can't stop smiling. I'm going to be back in America this time in 2 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. Very excited, very energized. Can't wait to be back. And we're going to be doing, for the first time ever, 2 weeks today, we are going to be doing tea and poetry together.
Yes, not next week, but the week after. And for
Wow.
2 weeks straight, we will be doing tea and poetry live together, long at last. We have never done a tea and poetry live together.
No.
We've done live streams together, but not a tea and poetry.
No, so so we're going to make sure we have to make this a big one. Make sure everyone tunes in. We'll get some of the faces that kind of join us intermittently at the moment. The likes of obviously Doreen and Barb and Bailey, and we'll get everyone on that week and really plug it.
Absolutely, and that will be the first one. Will be live from somewhere in the New York area, to be determined where that will be from. But yeah, if anyone out there is listening you're in the New York area and you want to make a suggestion, we're open to invitations. We will figure that out. But yeah, it's gonna be great. And then the week after is to be determined where that tea and poetry will be. So yeah, very excited across the board. Okay, so as you all are hearing, Dave is coming to the U.S. finally after way too many days. We said like 600, close to 658 plus days, 60 days somewhere. 600. No,
you posted. You posted that. Yeah.
675 days. I actually looked. I actually pulled up your itinerary from the last trip when you were here in January of 2020, I did the full calculations at that time when I put out that post, and so yeah, it's been a very long time. And
it's funny actually. We've had the last I always at first one of the first things I do. I have a routine. I know most people have a kind of routine of the things that they do in the morning, but one of my routines in the morning is I always look at my Facebook memories. And I do that for a few different reasons, because there's always, photos or videos of Austin from when he was little. And I think that's one of the great things that kids get these days that we really never had, was the fact that, Austin can look at videos and pictures of himself, from the minute he was born, taking videos and stuff like that all the way up. And so, he always asks me in the morning when he gets ready for school, what's on Facebook memories today, and we look. But recently on the Facebook memories, I've been getting a lot of the tour stuff from 2019.
Right.
Has been flashing up over the last couple of weeks, because obviously the first time I was out in 2019, I was there for about 3.5 weeks. So I just kind of had the last few days of the tour of us saying goodbye at the airport and going to Bism and all those things we did right at the end, being on TV in DC, So the other thing was yesterday. This is a really cool, and I never spoke to you about this, even though we spoke on the phone yesterday. Yesterday was 7 years to the day since I performed Stand By Me RP, the song that started it all off and started me on this journey with the poetry. Well, the first time I performed Stand By Me RP, that support group that I always speak about when I do my events, that was 7 years ago yesterday.
7 years ago, wow.
So 7 years ago yesterday, I started on my journey with the poetry, and look at where we are.
It's a world of difference. We've come such a long way. I mean, you have come such a long way. I am looking out in the distance, looking at a Stand By Me RP Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have Austin's Amazing Adventures right here on my table here.
Snap!
Look what you got over there. Looks like you've been reading it. How many times have you read that?
Do you know what? I actually haven't picked it up as much as you'd think. Austin, we're going to talk about this, and I really want to get into this tonight. This is what I want the main kind of topic to be on. Obviously, we've had the books a couple of days now. We got them on Monday, and Austin took them into school yesterday for the first time, and he took them into his class. And his teacher and Austin read the entire book to his class and went through all the talking points and made it a bit of a lesson, which was great. Amy took the books in yesterday and today to show to her teacher friends as well. She's just on her way back from to going to her sister Kath, who I speak about very often, who lost her son Josh a couple of months ago, and they've just been there to deliver her book, her copy. And we're yet to give Amy's mum. We haven't seen her yet. She's been busy, so we're going to take that round, I think, tomorrow after she finishes work and deliver her copy to her. But yeah, I've not gone through it as much as you think. Just kind of knowing it's here, and knowing that people are going to start receiving them soon, and knowing that these books are already making a huge impact. I just want to say a big shout out to Maria, who just flashed up in the chat there.
Yes, she did.
Maria's tuning in from Italy.
Welcome, Maria.
Yeah, she's a first timer. Maria connected with me after discovering my poetry on LinkedIn, and we've been speaking over the last few days. Maria is a translator, and she teaches English and French. And we've been having conversations, and she loves speaking English and messaging me in English. So I invited her to come along and listen into Tea and Poetry tonight. So I hope Maria is enjoying it all the way from Italy.
Maria, welcome. And what are the chances? Any chance Maria is from Bari? Like my name, Bari, B-A-R-I?
I think she's from Milan.
Okay. I just had to put it out there. So
Yeah, I
that is
think that's right. Maria, I'm sure will type in the chat, but I think Maria is from Milan. If she wants to come on and say hi, you can do that as well. That'd be great to kind of have her on at the end. But yeah, so yeah, it's just amazing having these books here, and already the schools here in the UK and obviously schools in the States are really starting to kind of find out about these books, and um, I'm very excited about what these books are going to do.
I'm also very excited. My brother Stephen had the opportunity to take one of the first copies home and to read it to his kids last weekend. He has young kids, and they really enjoyed it. They really enjoyed it. So I can only imagine the joy that it's going to bring to so many kids around the world. And the biggest takeaway from the book, besides the incredible illustrations, the amazing words that you have created to go along with everything in the book, but the message that's going to resonate with people worldwide. It's a single message that no matter what language, no matter where you are, it's the same message. So
well, tomorrow we've got something pretty cool happening. This is a bit of an exclusive here for Tea and Poetry, but we've already announced that with every purchase of the book, there is going to be a free, and I do say free, we're not charging at all for this, download of an audio version, which will come and be available shortly for every person that orders the book. But also what we're doing is, and I think we've touched on this before, but we've not really officially announced it, is we're going to have these books be available to schools to be used as part of a lesson on teaching inclusion, inclusivity, inclusion, awareness, and really breaking down those social barriers that many children, not just with low vision and blindness, experience, but children with any kind of different challenge experience. And that's really where these books are going to go in the future, as I've said before. And so as part of that, what we're going to have is on the website where you download the books or where you get the books from, we're also, for the schools, we're going to have some support for the schools. We're going to have some teaching materials, some lesson plans that have been created by teachers for teachers, and really, making these books a really valuable tool for all the schools around the world. And I can announce here for the very first time that tomorrow there's going to be two year groups in a school actually where Sue Green, who is the illustrator of the books, works as a teacher. They're going to be doing lessons tomorrow, years 3 and years 4 in the UK, which is age 7 and age 7 to 8 and 8 to 9 year olds are going to be having full lessons on Austin's Amazing Adventures, and they're going to feed back to us how the lesson plans go, and we're going to use them in the future.
Incredible. Maria says she is up in the north, and she is a translator, English and French. Translate, I guess back and forth, I guess, with Italian, I suppose. And yeah, it's and she studied University of Milan, so she's up in the north.
Yep.
I have to apologize. I don't know where Bari is exactly in Italy.
We have a truly international audience.
We do. It's
Australia, America, UK, across Europe.
It's true. It's beautiful. These are things, we bring the world together, and these are things that big highlights in my day. Amy, I'm happy to have a conversation with you offline. We can talk about getting Austin's Amazing Adventures down into Florida. Be happy to have that conversation with you.
And another thing as well, which I've been getting, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot more as the weeks go on, and as book sales start to kind of, speed up, and more people get to hear about the books, is I've had a lot of friends and people who I know, contacts who work within the school system, not just mainstream schools, but specialist schools. A friend of mine who passed away, an old school friend who passed away a few years ago, her daughter called me yesterday morning at like 8 a.m. as soon as she'd heard about the books, and she works in a school for children who are mainly suffer with, well, not suffer, but live with, I should say, suffer is not the right word, live with autism and some severely autistic children. And she said how these books would be perfect for them. And obviously, I've talked about that these books in the future will not just be about blindness and low vision, but will have characters within the stories that will be like any mainstream school, where we're talking about things like autism, ADHD, wheelchair use, all anxiety, all these kind of things that kids, have to live with and experience on a day-to-day basis, but really normalizing those things through the art of poetry, which is really the groundbreaking way I want to take these books, because there is nothing else out there like them.
No, there really is not. So I'm glad we're at this point. It's been a lot of hard work across
it certainly has.
And truly exciting. Robert, yes, I did receive your email. Look out for a reply within the next few hours. So thank you very much.
So what I'd like to do tonight is, obviously we're going to read some poetry. I've got a piece of poetry I want to start off with. We're already kind of into it, but also I want to open it up to the people that are listening and watching. If they have any questions about Austin's Amazing Adventures or anything they'd like to know about the coming weeks and stuff, to please jump on and ask. You can put it in the chat, or you can, as you said, raise your hand and ask some questions, because I really want to talk about these books and where they're going to go in the future. And also, if anyone's got any suggestions as well, or anything they'd like to kind of suggest, or something they'd like to ask if we're going to kind of address or tackle in a future story, then please raise your hand, get in touch, and let's talk about it. I have got a piece of poetry I want to start off with that I only wrote the other day, and I'm sure people are going to relate to this one as well. As I said right at the beginning of the call, have had a real period where the two of us have been working really hard, and Sue's been working hard, and Jerry the printer, and Michelle, and everyone that's been involved with the book, the team there at the LD Lighthouse, and Stephen. We've all been kind of working hard to get to where we're at now and get everything sorted, not just for the book, but also for me coming over and all the other things that we're working on, Odd Man Out, everything else. I've had a period where I've been so busy and so energized, but at the same time, because of my low vision, when I'm busy and working hard, and the more stuff I do, the more it takes it out of my eyes. Is this who I think it is? Oh, no, it's not the same. I thought you were saying goodnight, or was he gone?
No, thanks.
No, I thought Austin was coming through. You can say hi if you want. Okay, don't. Anyway, so love you. You saying hi? Go on, you got your makeup on. Here she is.
Hi.
Hey, Amy.
So yeah, I've had and anyone with low vision will really relate to this. We want to kind of make the most of our days and make the most of the opportunities, make the most of the vision that we have and the sights to be seen and our days. But when we kind of work too hard or do these things, or we go out a lot, or we have a lot happening in our social lives, that it comes a time where it catches up with us and it affects our vision, and we have bad eye days, and we have to kind of retreat for a little while. So I really wanted to kind of touch on that, and I'm sure a lot of people will relate to this poem, because this is how I was feeling the other day. Here we go. First time reading it. Hang on a second. I'll just actually get to it. That I was about to read the wrong one there. Here we go. So I'm scanning. Here we go. As vision slowly fades, these days pass by in just a blink. And all the while, I'm closer to the day more than I think. The day when I can't recognize what's there in front of me. The faces of the ones I love, my friends, my family. I try to make the most of every memory I make. I cling to all the visual things that blindness tries to take. But every special day is tinged with thoughts I try to hide. Will moments like this be the same when vision's just inside? But even though I'm letting go of things I can't do, my heart is bursting at the seams. It clings to sights of you. But all these things wipe me out and drain my energy. It's these days, the more I seems these days, the more I do, the less that I can see. Yet I won't waste a moment living life behind my door, especially when I don't know what tomorrow has in store.
I'm still writing here.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, as usual, love that piece. Cheers. I don't know what you
Cheers.
got over there. Looks like some
I
wine.
have a fizzy glass of Prosecco to celebrate the book.
Right. I enjoy it. Cheers. And I've got my bottle of water. You know, again, going back to what you were, just saying in that piece, it's about making the most of every single day, making every day count. And I think that, you were said before, how you start your day and what we do in our day and we plan our days and all of that, goes into that. Make the most of every memory. And that means by putting in every day, giving it 100%. And I think that's where you create those memories by really making the most of every single day, no matter what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I talk in that poem about how, and I said at the beginning there about someone with low vision or conditions that are similar, where, you do all that and you live that way, but ultimately it will pay, you'll pay a price for it where you will have to kind of naturally, because of how, how it works. I explained this the other day, and I want to explain it again just for yourself and for people out there that may not be too familiar. I was talking about this when I was actually doing an interview for a podcast a couple of days ago. And what I was saying was, when you have limited low vision, like I see through a straw, tunnel vision, just no peripheral, just a tiny bit of central vision in my right eye because my left eye is gone. When I am getting around from A to B, in order for me to do that, whether I'm using my cane or a guide dog or whatever, I have to kind of concentrate and scan more than a sighted person would do to get around. I have to use that little bit that I've got to the best I can to get around. But what that does is it saps my energy. And the analogy that I use to describe it is, it's like someone driving a long distance in a car. They're sat down, they're looking at the road, they're not moving, they're not doing anything that's physical because the car's doing all the work, but the concentration of doing that for a long period of time makes you tired. And that is exactly the same as how someone with low vision feels. So when you have a busy time, when you're out, I said last week we had wrestling, we were out at the weekend, we have late nights. I was performing at the weekend, which we've not even spoke about yet. Which we'll touch on in a little while. So many things going on. Radio interviews. I was on TV last night as well. Yeah. So lots of things going on, but it naturally does wipe you out. And you have to kind of have a day to kind of shut yourself away and refocus, which I've done today. I've not left the house today. But as you said rightly, I would not change it for the world because I am making the most of each day.
It's so true. And I think, like Robert just posted in the chat, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Robert says he completely agrees with you. Going to college and trying to keep up with the work and adapting to digital formats and high contrast. He says, I have a lot of stress with dry eye, always scared of squiggles in my eyes and the knowledge that I'm having, a bleed. Yeah, it's you're 100% right. The way you phrase that, I think was a great analogy, as far as driving all day long, and having to focus and concentrate on the road. I think that was a great analogy.
It is. I was speaking about this earlier. People. There was someone who I was talking to someone earlier, and they were saying about their words, not mine. They were saying about like the thing that I do, my gift with my poetry and the way I kind of do things is I'm a big, and I always have been, even before my sight loss, I am a big empath. You know what I'm saying by that? I kind of feel for people and I pick up on feelings and
like empathy. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah. I have this ability to be able to kind of take my feelings and take somebody else's feelings and listen to them and relate to it in such a way that I can put myself in their shoes and then talk about it through the poetry. And I think that is what people get from my poetry is, when they say it's like I'm speaking for them. I can do that, and I've written for other people before where they give me something to write about and I ask them to put the feelings down in words, and I'll take that and put myself in their shoes. And it's something that I've always been able to do, and I can do even more so now. But yeah, obviously with what Robert was saying there, I've always been kind of good at understanding how we kind of do things and how other people cope.
Yep. I want to bring on someone who we all know, maybe not all of us know, but at least you and I and some of the regulars here know Sedona Dave. I want to bring Sedona Dave
Yeah,
on.
please. Yeah, great. Absolutely.
Sedona Dave is someone who lives by this credo as far as, making every day count.
Certainly does.
Out there, and
certainly does.
He has just spent some time in the car. He was not driving.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Deb was doing the driving. How are you, Sedona Dave?
My brothers, I'm so glad to be here. Dave, Bari, great to be here. I'm awesome.
Oh, do you know what? I'm totally not jealous of you at all. Sat there with the Sedona sky behind you, and I know where you are, and I can't wait to get there at some point in the future. I want to be there now.
So do I.
Cannot wait to
can we go to Sedona, Bari? I want to go to
Sedona. Let me see what we can do.
We're working on it, Dave. Working on it.
Yeah, I want to go to Sedona.
Well, thanks
Sedona
so much for bringing me on.
It's super special. Sedona, I wanted to bring you on first. Also you raise your hand, but the stuff that we're talking about here, making the most of every memory, putting that effort forward. You're up to some amazing things. I'm not asking you to go into those things.
No, please do. I want to plug. Let's plug Sedona Dave as much as we can do. I really love to do that. Tell people out there what you're doing, because I'm all about giving people a platform and sharing. And you are part of the team, the tribe. Tell everyone what's going on, please.
Well, yeah, let's share with that. But I do want to say that I had the privilege to spend literally a little more than 24 hours together with Sedona Dave this past weekend.
In Vegas.
In Vegas.
Yes.
So, they say what happens in Vegas.
Yeah, so what happened? So we can't talk about it then, can we?
No. Mum's the word. Mum's the word.
Yeah, mum's the word. Yeah.
Lips are sealed. I do want to, before Dave tells us what he's up to, I do want to say that Vegas was hopping and bopping. I mean, I could not believe the crowds in Vegas. It was
that needs to be on the itinerary as well at some point. We need to go to Vegas.
Vegas was great. Vegas was great. So
Vegas is our official boardroom.
Yes, that is the official boardroom. Yes,
the 99 boardroom.
Dave, so go ahead, share with everyone, what are you doing every day to make the most of every memory?
Oh, wow. Well, gobbling up the Arizona sunshine's the easy answer. But Sedona Dave is, I'm fascinated by the topic. I'm doing great. I'm spending an awful lot of my daytime and my weeks hiking, getting out onto the trails, enjoying the weather and everything that Sedona has to offer. But Dave, your topic today, I don't typically raise my hand. Not that I'm a lurker, but do I have much to say? I don't know. I like listening, but today your topic right out of the gate was something that I really wanted to chime in, because Bari, you and I and Deb had an experience this weekend, very pertinent. We had some very pertinent discussions about this topic of fatigue, of uptime versus downtime, driving versus being a passenger, paying attention versus spacing out on the road or wherever. This reminds me of a daily event or issue that I go through. I'm working on a certain project, a certain Mark III project that brought me, for example, today down to Ace Hardware for parts, specific parts. And I don't know the exact name of them or where in Ace Hardware these small parts would be. But as the guy was explaining and showing and going through the various bins to find what I need, I realized that I'm at the end of my rope. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm fatigued. I'm done. I want to go. But all I'm doing is standing there and trying to find a few parts for a certain project, and I'm like, why am I tired? And this happens really every day to me. I can't see.
Yeah.
Back. I'm going to take Barry back a couple of 2-3 days to when we were talking to a friend of ours about. No, I'm going to take us back to last night on Diane's support group. I'm going to name drop Charlie, and he was talking about when he was going to school growing up. He would be like he'd be begging inside, please, teacher, don't call on me to read out loud. Not that he couldn't read, but he couldn't see. He couldn't see the words, and as he was going through that at 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, I'm going through that at 57, where I don't realize what the issue at hand is. Why am I getting fatigued? Why? I don't know. I'm tired of being there. Why did Charlie not want to read out loud? If you asked him at the time, Charlie, why don't you want to read? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't say, well, I've got this eye condition and I can't see the words. At the time, I'm pretty sure he wasn't aware. I'm going out on a limb and saying that at that age, he wasn't fully aware of.
I totally understand that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And as I'm not aware at Ace Hardware why I'm tired, but I'm trying to look for the things. I'm trying to look for the parts in the bins, and I'm just not mentally aware that the issue isn't I can't see, but the big question mark. So it's a very interesting subject you bring up. We do get fatigued, but I think my point here that I'm aware of is that
I wouldn't know that I would never know that you get fatigued, by the way.
Oh yeah, because
fatigue can affect us in different ways. Passion can override fatigue. And Dave's a very passionate person because he's doing, he's pushing, same as myself, and doing something that he's very passionate about, and he has a purpose, and that gets us through. But for those people that are trying to do it in a 9-to-5, kind of day-to-day job. I before I was officially diagnosed with RP, and I used to work in car sales, and I used to work from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, 6 days a week. I was really tired, and they're long hours anyway, especially 6 days a week, and your day off would go nowhere. And sometimes on your day off, you'd have to go in. But I'd feel as if I was more tired than everyone else, and I didn't realize actually that was down to my sight that I was tired, and I was undiagnosed. And it's only now that I realized that. But now I know the signs, and Amy knows the signs, and she actually, tells me to take a break more, and I don't enough, because I'm trying to push and do things, because when you're working and on your own stuff, you work more. But it's difficult. You've got to find that balance.
Yeah, you said that very, very, very succinctly, and my point exactly, that we've got, as a blind community, I feel we've got to be conscious. It sounds so, I don't know, inane to say, but we have to be absolutely conscious. And my poor wife Deb's got to constantly remind me, as I think you do, that you can't see. Slow down, take a break, stop, give your eyes a rest.
But listen, Dave, aren't these the things, you say about this is the reason you jumped on tonight? And I didn't plan this. I just kind of had an idea of what I would talk about, but I didn't see it going in this direction and being as important as it's now turned out to be. But isn't this just one of the things that we need to talk about more, because there's such a lack of awareness that actually these things, you know, people just think when you are living with low vision or blindness, most people don't even know what low vision is. If you're living with blindness, you can't see, or you can't see, or you can see because that's what they think. But if you're living with some kind of sight loss condition, that it just affects your vision and it doesn't affect anything else. And that is not true, because actually it affects everything. It affects your immune system. It affects your mood. It can affect so many different things. And we need to talk about, there needs to be more awareness and education on these things.
Absolutely. And absolutely. And consciousness and awareness that blindness, you know, we're all going through our days, and we know what we see, we know what we don't, but it's insidious. At the end of the day, that exhaustion level is really, really insidious. And when I get, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm angry, I'm, you know, kind of growly and snappy. And what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
It's the fatigue that I have to be aware of, that I keep forgetting.
It's stuff like this, right, that we need to actually, and this is something we need to take further forward. We are the teachers on this. You all know that I recently did the Roche campaign, Changemakers campaign, and I'm sure you've watched the videos, Dave. And there's a video which is the kind of backstory on me. And in the video, there's a retinal specialist by the name of Dr. Nancy Holcamp. And in the video, she turns around, and this was completely unplanned, by the way. She turned around and she said that since she kind of been connected with me, she looked at my website and she'd read my poetry, and she'd learned a lot of things from listening to my poetry that in the 30 plus years she'd been a retinal specialist, she hadn't realized about the way things are. And it's made her change how she works with her patients, which was an amazing compliment to say. But
it's huge.
Yeah, it is. But it's things like this, it's these kind of conversations that actually the healthcare professionals still to this day don't realize. The amount of times in my early kind of diagnosis, I'd been to an appointment and said, oh, I'm having this, this is happening, or something else is happening, or I'm feeling this. And they'll say, oh, that's nothing related to the condition. But then I'll speak to other people with RP or other low vision conditions, and they say, yeah, I go through the exact same thing. Yeah. But the optometrists, the ophthalmologists, the healthcare professionals don't realize it because we don't speak about it enough, or we're not speaking about it in the right places.
I want to read something here from Ellie Dupree. She posted here.
Hi, Ellie.
In the chat. And she wrote, as human beings, we do have our limits, and feeling tired is a sign. Do you believe that a break long enough to feel refreshed will result in being so much more productive that you will actually make up the lost time? Also, at rest, the mind is often the most creative. But what Ellie goes on to say next, Dave, this is for you, Dave. This is spot on for you. Sedona Dave. At the same time, the creative mind is very hard to turn off. How does that factor in?
Yeah.
I mean, tell us, Dave, because your mind is literally going 24/7. I know, Dave, your mind is going 24/7. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Literally, I woke up this morning. I think it was this morning. This is funny, and I love sharing. This is one of the things I love about Team Poetry is we have these conversations and I get to share this kind of stuff, and it's completely off the cuff and natural. I woke up this morning and I opened my eyes. I actually woke up. It was before 6. It was about 5:30, and the first thing I said to Amy was, I think this literally the first words out of my mouth this morning. I said, I think when I go to America and I do these events, I think I'm going to open with The Stranger rather than anything else, because what I want to do is I want to talk about how I'm happy for the blindness and the way it's changed my life, and then go back and say, but it didn't always used to be this way. and tell the story from that perspective, in the way that films do sometimes. Say, this is the result, but it didn't always start like that. This is how it started. And that was the first thing that I said when I woke up, because I eat, sleep, and dream this stuff. And sometimes I'll wake up in the night and get my phone from the side of the bed, turn it on, go into my notes and write down a line. Or I'm at the gym and I'm on a treadmill and I'm going pretty fast on the treadmill, holding on because I've got no, obviously, perception of space and balance and all that kind of stuff. And I'll have to kind of slow things down to get my phone out and write something, a line in the notes, and then put it back and then start again. So yeah, and I'm sure Dave, you're exactly the same, but we can't turn it off.
It dawned on me that Thomas Edison's second invention was Ambien.
I want to, Dave. I want to, Dave. Sedona Dave, you can stay on.
Stay there. Yeah.
I'm going to bring on Robert here in just a moment. While I'm bringing on Robert, Dave, do I have permission to share one photo from the weekend?
Oh, please, yeah. Oh, is it the one I'm thinking of? Is it a silhouette one?
What?
Is it the one in the? I'm kind of in the shadows and the lights. Oh, is it a photo from your weekend?
Yeah, from our weekend.
Yes, sorry, yes. I thought you meant from my weekend.
Yes. Yeah. So, Robert, just give us 1 second here. I mean, you're here. Welcome. I'll share the photo in the end. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing good. I was just calling that. I was just going to say that being at college, I'm walking around with a bunch of my peers, aka youngins, because of their college is 19 years old. I'm 45, but because of my glare, I can go through one room, be perfectly fine, then go through a hallway and just blinded and in pain because of the sunlight. Yeah. And then by the time I go to halfway across the building, I have to sit and rest. Mm-hmm. Because it's just the constant changing of the visual impairment.
Yeah, one of the I wrote a few kind of blog pieces and I share it every now and again. And every time I share this piece, it has like thousands and thousands of shares and goes all over the place. And it's about the constantly adjusting, the constantly adjusting to dips in vision, changes of light, this, that, and the other is actually the toughest part. So that resonates with me completely.
I mean, my retinal specialist tested me on October 1st or 2nd, and I went from 20 over 400, legally blind, to 20 over 2,500 with the sun, with the light, with just a flashlight in my eye.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and try to explain to people who've never been around us and go, but you're walking fine. But then I turn a corner and I'm in a hallway with big bay windows, and I'm almost in pain and sitting down hiding from it.
Let me ask you this, Robert. And this is an analogy, another analogy I use, and I don't know if you've heard this when I talk about, and this is one of the things I actually spoke with the Dr. Nancy Holcamp, who I just mentioned about the Roche project. With retinal diseases, not just RP, but lots of other things as well. I have this thing, and I've spoke about it and people relate to it, where if I'm in a space where there's not much going on, an open park, an open area, I can almost feel like I can see pretty normally, although I've got no peripheral vision. I feel as if I can see fairly well. But then I turn the corner and there's lots of moving objects, i.e. people, cars, whatever. My retinas can't deal with that information and it goes fogged over. So when I'm going to pick my son up from school as a perfect example, so I'll go there at 3:05, because the schools get out here at 3:15. I go there. I said 5 past. That's a British thing. 3:05 or yeah. So
I was never that lucky to get out of school that early.
I need to teach you all this, but yeah, we say time differently here in the UK. We say 5 past, 10 past, quarter past, 20 past.
No. I was never so lucky to get out of school at 3:15.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, it starts earlier here as well, I think. But anyway, so I'll go into the playground and everything's fairly quiet apart from a few parents, and I'll walk in sometimes with my cane folded up in my hand. But then as soon as the bell rings and the doors open, all the kids come flooding out, and all of a sudden, because of all that movement, my eyes can't cope with it and I can't see. And the same in the morning, I'll walk in holding Austin's hand, probably with my cane folded up. And then as soon as he goes in, because the playground's quite busy with parents and kids come in late, I have to kind of put my cane out and try and help myself through.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Also, it's kind of funny. Everybody's like going, "Oh, it's a beautiful day," isn't it? I'm like, no, I wish it was cloudy so I can see better. I mean, and and I say, it was like, "Oh my God, it's so bright, isn't it beautiful?" I'm like, no, actually, this is the worst it can be. One thing I want to say, I apologize from the side view. I use a 64-inch TV magnification so I can see you guys on my screen. So I apologize, the camera's sitting on my side.
No apology.
All good.
But really,
Absolutely.
I've had so many times where I've had like someone just like goes, "You're not blind, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." It's like, and it's such a wonderful, interesting feeling for me because one of the first things in mobility school that taught me was we have to be ambassadors, every one of us, because there's no one really as an ambassador and no one ever really talks to the people who are blind. So they're going to come to you and say, then ask questions, and you have to be nice about it.
Can I ask you a question, Robert? Is this the first time you've joined us, or have you been on weeks before?
I think it was on 3 weeks ago when I first sent the email about my presentation I'm doing at my college.
Oh, of course. Sorry. Yeah, I'm putting two and two together. So my question to you is, we were talking about Austin's amazing adventures at the beginning and the book and everything, and with the schools, how important do you think these things are to kind of show children, to give characters, those, to give children with low vision and blindness and disabilities and different challenges in general, those characters to relate to, but also help other children understand those simple things that, everyone needs to know, that blindness doesn't mean seeing nothing.
That's always been the hardest thing because, the first thing when you see a cane, you automatically think they're completely blind. They don't understand there's a difference. And when my 13-year-old, when she found out, she saw me when I went through my retinal detachments, and so and she learned. And now she sits there and teaches everybody she knows about it because she wants everybody to understand that her father is not blind. Her father is just low vision. And how to be a guide and all that stuff. But she's trying to explain to them that there's not just black and white, that there's gray.
Yep.
And that most of us in our community is gray, where we don't have a set, vision issue.
Yep.
And so I've had to do a couple classes where I walked in, I explained to them, yeah, I can see you. You're kind of fuzzy, but I can make you out, and your mind sooner or later starts to try to fill in the dots, and you can see it. But then, the next person to me is fully blind. He doesn't see anything. So you have to be very calm about it and just walk them through it. And once they do, then they're never afraid or anything of that nature, or worried or scared of someone with a cane.
But you know what I love, and this is one of the things that's really exciting me about these books at the moment, is hoping that, knowing, not hoping, because I know this, that in the future, we're going to have children educating the parents on these simple things, that kids are going to see these books and go, no, mum, no, dad, blindness isn't seeing nothing. There's many shades to blindness. There's Austin, who sees a little bit and he sees like this, and then someone else sees like this, and Stargarts is seeing the outer, and RP seeing the inner, and yeah, just teaching those simple things in that poetry way right from the start, and having the kids do it. What a great way. I'm so excited about that.
Robert, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to move on to Travis because I can't even believe what time it is. But thank you so much, and look out. I will respond to you in the next few hours. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thanks, Robert, and I hope you'll keep coming back.
Yes, I will.
Please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
While I am bringing on Travis, I want to, it'll be a quick one, Travis. Give me 1 second here. I want to, as he said, I wanted to share this picture with everyone. So, as I mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to go out to Las Vegas this past weekend and to spend some time with Sedona Dave and his wife, Deb, and also a very hold on one second, fascinating individual who I hope we will have on here. I'm sure we will actually, probably sometime in the near future. So, all right, that picture is up on the screen, and the picture was taken in the lobby of the Bellagio Hotel.
Bellagio, yeah, recognize that.
Now, this particular, I want to explain this picture because there's a specific reason why we took this picture. So first of all, when they go from left to right, we have Sedona Dave there wearing a werewolf gear t-shirt, holding his mobility cane. He's got his left arm wrapped or intertwined with his wife, Deb. Then we have Carol Bishop standing next to her husband, Justin Bishop. Yes, that Justin Bishop, the blind.
I was speaking to Justin yesterday. Oh no, today actually.
Today. And then you have myself. Now, Justin is from Las Vegas, and he specifically brought this to our attention. I was unaware of this. And I don't know if Dave, if you're aware of this at all. So we are standing in the lobby, and above us are these. It's a massive piece. It's I don't know, like 20 feet long. You know, maybe I don't know. Dave, it's the only Dave. I don't know how long. It's a big piece.
It's huge.
It's the centerpiece of the lobby, and it's these all different colorful glass flowers.
Okay.
Now this was specifically designed like this because the creator, the person who built the Bellagio, is Steve Wynn. He no longer owns the Bellagio, but Steve Wynn built the Bellagio. RP. He has RP, and the designer specifically wanted. And I don't know if he instructed it or how it played out, but the designer specifically wanted to have something there to call to the attention on how Steve Wynn sees things, almost like a kaleidoscope. And that's what this was created and why it was created.
I didn't know that. And I love that.
Yes. So this picture was specifically taken there. Justin, a Las Vegas native, brought this to our attention. And we thought that would be very, most appropriate to take that picture there. So just want to share that with everyone. And we will definitely have Justin come on here in the very near future. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting together with Justin actually.
Yeah, an amazing individual. So
he's got so much to offer the blind community. To as a person, as an individual, he brings a level of I got this. I mean,
we're really fortunate. I think we've got a great bunch of people kind of connected. I'm really loving the connections that we're making, and it's nice to see. It really is.
All right,
a lot of empowerment and a lot of support there is for people out there that are looking for it.
Travis, you're clear to go.
You're listening to live team coverage right here, right now on TM Poetry Radio, brought to you by the Low Vision Shop, now open in Miami, Florida. Sedona Dave Tours, where you can go tour of Arizona, go on hiking trips in the whole 9 yards, and Groom Transportation, where the bus can take you from Phoenix to Flagstaff and everything and beyond in the state.
Look at that. By the way, Dave, we were talking about that transportation. Was that the company we were talking about? You use Groom Transportation, don't you?
Groom Transportation. Travis, so awesome that you know Groom Transportation.
He's doing his research. I love it.
Amazing.
Hey, thanks, Sedona Dave. How the heck is it going?
Finest kind, brother. Finest kind. Life is great. Weather is great. Moving forward with some amazing projects. Just it's good, man.
Like
it's things.
Yeah, like what kind of projects? Home improvement projects or?
Not home. Coming from Travis, I laugh. Home blind improvement projects.
There you go.
I am right now. I'm working on a new version of formerly known as the Wild Thing. Now referring to it as the All Terrain Cane.
I love that name.
It's a bit more. It's a bit more descriptive, but this new version is we believe it's a problem solver. it's an amazing, amazing piece of equipment that if I'm not out here in the sunshine after this, I'm going back into the garage, the inventor's den,
Back to work.
work some more on it. Yeah, it's but we're getting ready to do a build on a new version of this cane, and I'm so excited. And as we've mentioned before, just the inventors, the mind, the creative mind that never stops. The loss of sleep.
Yeah.
Anyways, you've heard it from me, Travis. I'm turning the talking stick or the talking feather back to you, brother.
I just want to say one thing, Dave. I think we're going to need a piece of poetry to go along the side of the ATC, aka Wild Thing.
Always here.
Okay, Sedona Dave, I'm just going to say this. This is for everybody. And if it goes well, it is going to have ACB talking if they hear about this. That's another thing.
It's going to have the whole world talking.
Oh,
not just
yeah, the whole world
ACB.
by storm.
The whole
ACB,
world by storm.
Allison, our tribe with Allison, the whole world's going to be like, wow.
Yes. In fact, actually, Allison had the opportunity to hike with a Wild Thing / ATC cane when she was in Sedona earlier this year. So
yes, and she went to the drum circle and everything.
Yes, yes. So yeah, everything good by you, Travis?
Everything's great, and my eye is just about my left eye is just about almost completely back to normal. You have the keratoconus I had.
Yes, you mentioned that. Yes.
Yep, I've been doing the drops as well as the ointment treatments, and oh man, what a difference!
Good. I'm happy to hear that. It's fascinating to hear that keratoconus can affect you. It's quite fascinating.
Yep.
So, yeah, quite familiar with keratoconus. So,
yep.
Appreciate coming on. We're gonna ask you we're gonna keep it real short because we are at that 5 p.m., 10 p.m. mark, and I'm sure Dave has a piece of poetry to bid us farewell. I think what we're gonna have to do is, because we had so much that we wanted to talk about tonight, it's just gonna have to be pushed on to the next TM Poetry, and I think that maybe when Dave is in the U.S., we're just gonna have an expanded TM Poetry. And
yeah, absolutely.
I see that happening because there's gonna be a lot to share. I do want to say Dave's first stop will be New York City. Some fun and fascinating events that are planned.
Have we got some announcements to make over the next week and a couple of weeks? Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
So, so Bari.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give you just a quick note though. So the only thing is, because I know that he'll be in the US for probably a couple of weeks. I know I can tell you one thing, Allison and I will not be making the one on the first of the month of December because we are having our in-person annual Christmas party, unfortunately, that day. So
okay. No problem. So we will miss you, but all good. So,
and I'll look for it on YouTube, worst case.
Yeah,
so.
Dave's trip. This one will be a shorter trip than originally planned. This will be just a little bit over a week, with multiple cities and states, more to follow. And
great.
Yes, so appreciate that. Though, always good to hear from you, Travis. We miss you. Sending our love.
Miss you too.
Sending our love from the East Coast, and I'm gonna hand the mic back over to Dave and close things out with some poetry. And stay on. I'm not going to mute you, Travis. So you'll stay on for the remainder, the next couple minutes.
Great.
Yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's kind of took part again today. I love these team poetry so much. We obviously didn't do last week because we were creating special moments and memories, and but it's so nice to be kind of back doing these things, and we've got a good few weeks now runs where next week I'll be here in the UK, and the next two I will be stateside, and I just can't wait for that. So yeah, I want to finish with this piece of poetry that really kind of encapsulates what we were just talking about. Here we go. So today I will not focus on the things that I can't see. There's more to life than seeing. There's more to sight than me. Today, I'll be the hero that my children idolize, whose superpowers far outweigh what blindness compromise. Today I'll be the husband that my wifey Steele deserves. Won't shift my gaze, I'm lost for days in sparkly eyes and curves. The tears and fears of yesterday, today no longer grieve. It's not too late to choose my fate, in myself now believe. No blindness won't define me. Today I'm heading out to face the places often filled with anxious chest and doubt. The world may have suspicions, presumptions faked by news. Won't hide my cane or feel ashamed. My pride is mine to lose. So today I will not focus on the things I can't erase. For despite my eyes, you'll see me rise. There's nothing I can't face.
That is true. That is true. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are, even the morning. For Ken, who's coming to us from Australia, it's been really a wonderful international, community here tonight, as always. If you enjoy Tea and Poetry, please help spread the word, share with your friends, with your family. Everyone is welcome. And of course, you can go on to YouTube to listen to any of the previous Tea and Poetries. Just just go on the search on YouTube for the Blind Poet channel, and you will find Tea and Poetry right there.
There's an easier way than that. Just head to the website, theblindpoet.net. All the links, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
that is true.
all those,
All right
Instagram,
there.
are all on theblindpoet.net.
All right there. And I want to thank everyone for participating tonight. Great to hear from everyone, and great chat tonight as well on the chat as far as communication. And Maria, thank you so much for staying up as well. I know you're a little ahead of the UK as well. So thank you so much. And we're staying so long. So thank you, everyone. Wishing everyone a wonderful evening, day, afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll see you next week. We'll see you next
week, guys.
Tea and Poetry.
Take care.
All right,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Take care.
Good night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Tea and Poetry, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Join us live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK. A big thank you to our sponsors, the Lanny D. Chesapeake Lighthouse and the Low Vision Shop. If you enjoyed Tea and Poetry, please invite a friend, like, share, and subscribe.